morning, Mr. Johnson. It's a great honor for having you here for our interview. My name is Jong Peng and my partner is Hei.
Hi.
Our topic today is the role of attire in nonverbal communication and social interaction. I would like to ask you, how can attire impact the first impression people make on others?
I think first impression wise, because we do have very limited information about the person, and attire become one of the significant and most observable information for us to capture to understand a person. I mean, to understand the situation or a person just like myself, I came here, I do not know what is to expect, and yeah, this seems to be one of the most obvious information that I captured. Hopefully I can get to know my position, how should I behave, what should I do, what is the social expectation to be like. So yeah, I think this is the main reason, main factor that attire is serving. The main thing that attire is serving is to give us information.
So do you think that cultural background can actually influence the role of attire when it comes to non-verbal communication and also social interactions, like in various occasions?
Like maybe Chinese like to dress up in this way, they dress up in different way, and to actually express what do they want to express, consciously or subconsciously. But I think it doesn't serve significant. It doesn't tell very significant information. More to just trying to be comfortable. I think because although we would like to respect the occasion or the event that we are attending, but then it's good to feel comfortable as well. Because attire, of course, it serves a social purpose, but in terms of yourself, it is important as well. So respect both the situation and ourselves.
So, do you think that the color of attire that people wear would actually impact non-verbal communication and social interactions?
Yeah, definitely. Like what I say, in a very common understanding, without any knowledge in the color of the psychology of color or whatnot, generally we believe blue is representing trustworthiness, because most probably it explained in our police force, where their uniform is slightly blue, dark blue, and then and then the medical team, usually they are wearing white. So these are the proof, the evidence that showing color does make a difference. Not to mention, if you are saying the psychology of color, you can see McDonald's, they are using bright red and yellow to actually boost our appetite. So yeah, color definitely play an important role, especially. So
it's about conveying messages to people, something like that. Okay, understood. Yeah. Would you think that after wearing a proper attire, would it actually boost my confidence overall in terms of confidence?
I think yes. Because every morning when we dress up well and we know where we are going, then when we look into the mirror, if we already know that we are well prepared, that definitely serves a plus point into our confidence level. And then if we are unsure about what the situation might be, and then would we maybe there's some self-talk about did I overdress or underdress or whatever thing. Yeah. So it gives you a confirmation into whether you are fitting into into the event that serve a factor. When you are comfortable, when you are clear, then I think automatically you will feel more confident.
As we see in primary school, and it's about common clothing. In secondary and primary school, we would actually see most of the school they would wear proper school shirt with button collars and also long pants with white shoes or maybe black shoes in nowadays. But when it comes to university, we would actually for some school like APU, we would actually our school consider us to wear button collar shirt with working pants and proper shoe. But some university, I would not like to say its name, they would actually let them to wear like t-shirts or maybe even slippers to school. Do you think that it's appropriate, or should we actually change them or just leave it be?
Well, this debate, I think it brings up to another level about democracy and things like that. Yeah, it's very, it can be a very deep debate about this. I do not want to represent any bodies to talk about this, but then I think from my point of view, if you ask me as a person, I would not give any comment on this, because it is really everyone's freedom to do so, and then especially we are living in a democratic society.
Yes.
We from very young age we have really learned about respect. We learn about freedom.
Yes.
Some more my background of my study is in psychology. I always learn about respecting others. Yeah, so I do not see a point in that. But if really were to debate in the opposite perspective, I would say first, of course, to respect the institution. Slipper seems to be too laid back.
Yes.
And then it also goes to the branding of the university. Of course, from our perspective as a student, if you put yourself as a student, we want to maximize comfort level.
Yes.
But in the perspective of an institution, higher education, branding is important. It is a business. Anyhow, it is a business. And another perspective is it is education. It is to talk about knowledge, whether you are respecting it, whether you are respecting other people's business. So it will be a great debate, but at this point of time, I do not really have a standpoint. I'm being very neutral on this.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. Thank you. Okay, so just for getting things clear, so above we talk about wearing proper attire will boost confidence, right? But this question is a little bit different. So how do you think that a person wearing a proper attire will influence other person's self-confidence in maybe public area or maybe social interactions?
I think the answer to this question is yes or no. Yes, is because when another factor came to see. You see, if your lecturer is very, very, very professionally, it is educating you, it is telling you that how you should be dressed up in a university.
Yes.
And then, for example, you are in a workplace, how your boss wearing is also conveying a message to you. And then eventually it will influence the person how they would like to dress in the future. But then when I say yes or no, it's because there is when I give these two scenarios, whether it's in university or in the workplace, this important factor called power imbalance.
Sorry?
Power imbalance.
Power imbalance.
Power.
Imbalance, right?
So when a person is your superior, naturally you will pay more respect to the person.
Yes.
And then you will, if this person is a knowledgeable person, you admire him or her a lot, then naturally you will be influenced. So whether or not it is the attire itself is playing a role, or this power imbalance is playing a role, I will say power has the majority of the say in this situation.
how do you how do change in fashion trends affect
Change in fashion.
change in fashion
Change in fashion trends. Yeah.
trends affect the role of attire in non-verbal communication?
I think the fashion trend has been pushing us to think out of the box, to break the stigma, to break the traditional thinking of what you should wear. Compared to those times, 60s, 70s, you will see people who are going to work in an office job, they dress very improperly, then they tend to be like a work machine. Everyone is wearing the same thing, and then the situation do not encourage creativity. And whereas once when we enter 21st century, people are start thinking out of the box. In fact, this is not just exclusive to 21st century. I believe in the 19th century, 20th century, there are people who are pushing this, but whether the acceptance in the public is the level of acceptance is different. And then I see it as a good thing, because at the end of the day, we are juggling between whether it is comfort should go first or respect of others should go first. I do not think that it should be extreme, but then how do you manage this the balance between these two things? And I think we are, as fashion trends is pushing us to think out of the box, it is actually increasing the portion or the comfort level, the styles that you like. It also, like what you have discussed, boosts our confidence level. Individualism is coming into this talk. It is a good thing, and not to mention also boost creativity, because we are seeing more colors in the workplace rather than just black and white, right? Yeah, definitely it helps. And then when we talk about individualism, I do not know other culture. By saying culture, I mean far away. For example, Middle East, country like in the Middle East or in Africa, maybe. What is their expectation? What is their tolerance, the acceptance in terms of this individualism? Because some of the country, they are still practicing a very traditional way. They want collectivist thinking to come in more. If we bring the debate into individualism or collectivism, then we can't miss out political influence as well. If the person in charge would like to control the mindset or whatnot, then collectivism might win a bigger portion. But then, whereas back into Malaysia, we are a free country. We have freedom of speech. We encourage people to talk whatever they want. But we do not disregard this respect portion. So I think if you put into a numeric terms, and I would say 80-20, it will be healthy. But further pushing it will create some discomfort in other people, in certain group of people, that is not really appropriate. But so far in KL, in the capital city of our country, in terms of the acceptance level is higher compared to the rural area, then we can play out the number like maybe 80-20, but in another region maybe 70-30, depending on how you who and how you are thinking, where you are.
How do you think that technology and social media have impacted the role of attire in non-verbal communication and social interaction?
Yeah, definitely. Because just now when we talk about how young people like us are telling the old the existing workforce what are the trends be like. Social media serving as a broadcasting tool is telling people worldwide what is the trend be like. maybe in some of the places, some of the workforce, some of the company, they are still practicing a very strict pattern. But then I believe the director, the CEO, they do have some social media, right?
Yeah.
When they see photos around the world, what are people practicing?
Yes.
More or less, it will influence the decision maker, and then whether or not they will finally make a decision, it will be very depending on other consideration where they have to think about. Yeah, definitely it plays a role. And then technology you mentioned, it's very important, very interesting because take for example in the US, there's this place called Silicon Valley because of the bank you guys might know. Yeah, they have a lot of tech company, and this tech company, they do not they might encourage more in terms of innovation, be more creative in serving the population with new technology, new ideas. So this trend, as this company, they are hiring more people, they become a significant portion to represent, to tell the workforce that, hey, this is the way that we work, and it doesn't jeopardize our work performance. It doesn't really hurt our profit or whatnot.
Yeah.
So it makes other group of in the market to start to think about, hey, if other people can dress up more comfortably and it doesn't affect their profit, it doesn't affect their performance, so is this something that we can look into? I think the decision maker will start to think about it. Yeah, so it will definitely affect our technology and social.
I would like to conclude that we have actually discussed that the way that we dress has actually a significant impact on how we actually perceive by others in social and also professional settings. Clothing may actually influence by first impressions, maybe even conveying social messages to other people on what do we want to convey on others people as well, and also maybe even impact on behaviors and also emotions sometimes. So overall, that we know that attire plays a crucial role in how we communicate with each other, and also it's depends on the situation. It's actually essential to wear the clothing on what we go and it's essential to consider the social environment and situation when consider to wear, and also because it's 21st century where everything's starting to change around, so that their perspective and also maybe generation have changed, so everything is changing right now. So clothing and everything may maybe change in past more few years, but we do know that professionalism is still one thing that we should actually perceive. So thank you, Johnson, for your taking your time to speak with us today. So I think that your perspective and your valuable information is actually helping us a lot on this experimental thing and this social comfort thing. So we actually really appreciate your participation on this interview.
Yeah.
So it's actually been a pleasure speaking with you, Johnson.
It's my pleasure.
Okay.
It's my pleasure as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me,
Yeah.
because while talking this topic, I'm thinking as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a fresh perspective that I want to look into. Yeah, thank you. All right. Thank you.